All right, well, welcome to AP Gov / Honors Civics and Economics. I'm Adam Sanders.
I'm Peter Hagermoser.
And we are your teachers this year. Rather than just us talking, we feel like it'd be a better idea to take some questions from our students. Are there any students in here?
No, but I think we have some questions from online.
Right, and so in order for you guys to get a better feel of who we are, we want to let you see, honestly, the people that are nearest and dearest to our hearts.
Yeah.
So, first question.
So I'm confused. Who is actually my teacher for this class?
That's a fantastic question there, Kelsey. Who's actually teaching this class? It's going to be a mixture.
That's right. We have actually tried very hard to figure out the idea of co-teaching, which really means the benefits of both of us. So there's going to be some sections that you and I teach together.
Yes.
There's going to be some parts that we split out, and I take care of my class, and you technically take care of your class. And then we're going to split you up into small groups as well. But to answer your question, he is still your teacher of record if he's on Power School. I'm still your teacher of record if I'm on Power School. But
you still have the ability to approach both of us if you have any questions. So
Absolutely.
You get two teachers instead of just one teacher.
Two for the price of one.
So are you guys going to teach it all this semester, or are you going to just talk about football or the lack thereof?
Okay.
And so I think that's a great question. Are we going to teach anything? Peter, what do you think?
No.
Well, yeah, I think we will teach a
That's
few
news
things.
to me.
We actually try very hard to break pretty much all coach stereotypes. On a normal day, we'd use glue sticks. We'd have some nice color graphic organizers. We'll do all sorts of stuff. As you can see, there's all sorts of projects in the room. So to answer the question, yes, Dana, we will teach a little bit. Maybe a sports reference every now and then?
Most likely.
Definitely.
Dad, do you know who the president is going to be? Here are your choices: Joe Biden or Donald Trump.
All right. Thanks, Luke, for jumping on the furniture and that great question. So, are we going to ever tell kids what we think about politics?
Absolutely not. We're going to do our very best to try to stay right down the middle. So realistically, who's going to win the election? It's either going to be President Trump or Joe Biden.
And we don't know, but you can rest assured we're going to talk about it a whole lot. So, thanks, Luke.
Hey, Dad, what about the podcast?
Oh, Casey, I think she wants to be on the podcast is where this is really
I
coming
think she
from.
will. Or the podcast, as she said.
That's right. So, do you want to keep doing it?
Absolutely. But I think we probably just start out doing weekly. Doing a weekly podcast meant to just cover the current events of what's going on that week. We're going to cover COVID, we'll cover the election, and that way you have that one source to get your information from.
That's right. And we just like doing it.
100%.
So, there you go. Thanks, Casey.
What an adorable question. That was Ellie James, first-time reporter.
Absolutely adorable. Congratulations again.
Absolutely adorable. She's going to absolutely hate this video in about 15 years. But do your parents need to buy anything for you on Monday? Yes.
We love a good 3-subject spiral notebook. So it doesn't have to be 5-star, it doesn't need to be name brand. We don't care about any of that. But a 3-subject spiral notebook full size would be really, really helpful. Once you get that and something to write with, we'll take care of the rest.
Absolutely. Because if we do come back, and when we do come back,
When?
then we can
When?
just, when we
When?
do come back, we can step right into the class, and you have everything that you need, and we just pick up where we left off from virtual learning.
And-
The questions, all great questions. All right, final thoughts. This year is going to be interesting.
Interesting is a good word.
Interesting to say the least. All right. What we need to do is make sure that we are all in this together.
And we are going to be here for you. So whenever something comes up, one, make sure you check Google Classroom and see how everything's listed. Check the podcast and to make sure that we haven't talked about it there. And then just shoot us an email. Because really that's going to be the best form of communication, because you can't just pop in during lunch right now unless you really just want to come by the neighborhood.
Yeah. Make sure you bring Chick-fil-A. All right. We like coffee and Chick-fil-A.
Always appreciated. So, GBE, we're just going to keep
Getting better every day.
absolutely love it. Thanks, and we'll see you this year.
This year.
A little bit, but
Yeah.
still, this is Honor Civics. Now, generally speaking, there's 2 of us, not 1 of us.
Yep.
We like to co-teach as much as possible.
Yep.
And we've got it now to where there's way more benefits than the negatives to it.
There really is.
But also typically we have a kind of a combo class between honor civics in the fall and AP Gov in the spring. There's still some of that this year, but not near as much. So if you're not in AP Gov in the spring, this is really just straight honors, civics, and economics.
Yeah, I mean, we call it AP Gov just for our sake and for
Right.
the majority of kids who are in both. But if you are just someone that's in honor civics and you're not planning to take AP Gov next semester, we're still just doing honor civics this semester. It's going to look different than some other honor civics class, but it's not going to be to the AP Gov level.
Correct.
It's not going to be an AP class. You're still in honors.
Right. So no worries there. One thing that we do have is we have an interactive notebook, which I love, and you have quickly come on the bandwagon too.
Yes.
So we went over this in class earlier this week. If all the kids can have just a full-size spiral notebook, 3 subjects is fine. That's really the only thing that they need, and that's just going to help them keep themselves organized with some actual pen and paper in such a different digital world.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important, especially when we do go back to school. If, say, we're on page 25R, which the kids know about how the left and rights work in the notebook. If we're on page 25R from when we were at virtual and now we're going back in school, the expectation is they are on 25R. We're not going to go back and say, hey, no, this is how you set up your notebook. That's a time waster. Like we'll go over the notebooks. We'll make sure they know how to set them up when we're in virtual. So when we do go back to in-person lessons, we can go with our feet on the ground.
Exactly. Communication, Twitter is very, very helpful.
Yep.
We're using that a little bit less than we have in the past because everything is digital.
Yep.
But still, you guys are welcome to follow along, as your students should be as well. Grading. Lots of people have tons of questions about grading in this virtual environment.
So do teachers. Teachers
We
have
do.
Teachers have a lot of questions too, and I mean, it's definitely going to be our class was a lot of project based anyway.
Correct.
But we did have weekly quizzes that are probably going to go away.
Right.
If we can
Or
figure
at
out
least get minimized.
minimized to a point where this is going to be a big project based semester.
Yes.
That's going to be better for the students. That's going to prevent the inevitable cheating that will probably happen if I give the quiz.
No.
I know who would ever cheat on a
Not your
quiz.
child.
Who would ever take out their phone? Listen, there's so much that we just can't control. And so honestly, to me, giving a quiz that there's a good portion of them they're going to cheat, it's just a time waster for them and a time waster for us and not conducive to their learning. We want to do more projects. We want to keep them interested. And so it's going to be a lot more projects this
Right.
year.
And hopefully it'll be more fun that way.
Yes.
Another thing that's not really grading based, though, is please remind your student to make sure they fill out the Kickstarter every day. While there's not a grade attached to that,
100%.
that is the attendance piece.
Yeah.
And we have been over that quite a few times.
Quite a few times. And
But
we will continue to be going over that.
Just to circle back and make sure you guys are in the loop, there is a Google form that is linked every day on our daily agenda. Then that's how they can that's how we do attendance. And that's how they do a little something to kind of get them going.
So if you want to ask your son or daughter a question about honor civics, ask them, do you have the 2 things tabbed? Do you have the daily agenda tabbed in the bookmark? And do you have Google Classroom for all your classes tapped in the bookmark? If they have that, they're all set. Those are the 2 places they need to have to go for our class.
Correct. And we'll actually show you exactly what that daily agenda looks like here at the end. Next thing, what do we expect? I mean, this is a whole new realm of virtual education. For me, I think communication is the key.
100%.
Like when they have an issue, hang back at the end of class and we will troubleshoot anything that comes up.
Yeah. I mean, I think third period, we spent like 30 minutes talking to third period after class, just trying to troubleshoot issues.
And just a couple kids, and we will be patient and try to help out the best that we can, because this is new and different for all of us.
But at the end of the day, you got to own it. And I think one of the things is, I'm sure a lot of people, when in your careers, you get upset when people say, do stuff now that hurts your job or makes your job more difficult.
Right.
If a kid doesn't do an assignment, they need to just be like, yeah, I didn't do it. My bad. I'm sorry.
And then there will be an issue, just because, again, there's so many things going on. Own when there's a gap, if you will.
A gap.
And we take care of it from there. Other expectations, have fun. I know that's part of the environment that we have found a way to create in person as well. And we are still pushing to find ways to do virtually as well. But we really enjoy teaching this. This is exactly what we want to be teaching. And we're hopefully that it'll be your child's favorite class.
Yeah.
Next, what does this mean? Like, what kind of content? Today's world is very difficult in ways. It's controversial in certain ways. How our government functions is getting questioned on all sorts of different levels. That's what this class is all about.
Yeah.
What it does look like, what it should look like. And I say this all the time, and then I'll let you put on, like, I don't care what our kids believe. I don't care what our
No.
students believe, left, right, middle. It doesn't matter at all. We just want you to have an opinion and then have some fact, reason, or logic behind it.
And that's what this class is really going to help those students who have really strong opinions be able to shape those better.
Yes.
Because they're going to have some facts behind it. And also, this class is ever changing. We're going to talk about real world issues because it has to do with government.
Correct.
So if something happens in the news as related to government, we'll talk about it in class. And we want those kids to bring it up in class. We want to have class discussions. That's when this class gets really good, is when there's good class discussions. And it's one of the reasons why we wanted to combine our classes, to give a more perspective and get more people with more opinions in one class to share their ideals, to share their beliefs, to have a real life discussion with people, especially with people with opposing views.
Right.
All right. And we get to facilitate that.
Right. And then the last piece of that is really respecting each other's views.
100%.
And years past, that hasn't been a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how they mature and continue to become better and better adults. And that's just one of the many things and reasons why we love teaching this class. And so lastly, communication, like we said earlier, is key. If you have any questions, please let your student try to email us first. We're trying to let them continue, just like we said, own it and accountability. But then, as always, feel free to follow up and email us. We're happy to help whatever we can. As promised, we promised that we would show you exactly what our kind of daily agenda would look like. And so what it is just a running PowerPoint that is actually on our website. And this is exactly what it would look like. So, for example, this is what we did on Monday. This is what we did on Friday. And all those things are right there for you. And it's a one-stop shop.
Yes.
Where everything is there. All of the different Twitter handles, the link to our website, it's all, and links to the podcast as well.
The podcast, also our YouTube channel, that's where all their notes are going to be located. We're working on videos because we don't want to take notes during class, which we think that's a waste of the students' time. We want to have discussions in class. We want to be able to talk to your students in class. So this is the one-stop shop. This is, you see all those hyperlinks they should have had to click on those on Friday when this was up. All right, this is there for them. So every day when they come to class, this is the first thing they open up. They open up the daily agenda, they do the Kickstarter, and they have the whole map of what they're doing that day in class.
Correct. And just so you guys can see just exactly what we're talking about, we do call it AP US Government.
Yep.
Just for simplicity's sake. But again, this is syllabus, and hopefully you've already been here, so you filled out the syllabus. If not, please go back and do that. Actually, I need to share it so you guys can actually see it. But again, this is our actual site.
That's Ellie Hagermoser. She was just born a couple weeks ago.
Brand new dad, braving the world well.
I'm trying every day.
Finding that
I'm trying every day.
Life balance.
Whoever made coffee is a genius.
And again, that's where that is. Our unit agenda is on there as well. We've actually got helpful hints. We're gonna have a troubleshooting document that we're working on. We're just trying to put together as many helpful things to help these kids out as possible so they can be successful, really. Yeah. But that's it from us. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully you guys could now take a look of what our class is actually like on a regular basis. And if you have any questions, again, email us. And we look forward to teaching your child all year long. We really do. And just one last thing, if you guys were curious, here is the YouTube page that we have, our YouTube channel.
Which I'm very happy that kids are doing notes, because our last one has 252 views currently. So that's awesome. So this is something you can subscribe to. This is where all the notes are going to be located. Again, we're slowly working on them. This is sort of first unit's notes. And this is this is how the kids are going to take notes. They can take the notes on their own time. All right, I don't want to waste their time in class taking the notes. The one thing that we forgot to mention is that one of the things that we've added this year that's different is we had cohorts, which is families. All right. So ideally, we understand that maybe in a large class size that this could be considered a large class. It could be intimidating. We want to create an outlook, sort of an outlook for kids to go to, in the sense they're going to have 6 to 7 people in their groups. That's going to be their family. That's going to be their go-to people. All right. Anything we do, discussions, projects, anything like that, they're going to be with those people. They have questions, they go to their families first. So really, while it is a large class for discussion purposes, it's actually really a small class when it comes to actually doing materials.
Right. And then we're also going to facilitate a lot of small group discussions in that. Yeah. So that's their outlet that they can get in a group of 6 people or so. And then let Team Cookout or Team Chick-fil-A or
Team Demolies or Scratch or Roost Days or Glory Days. All right. And they're going to be able to work together. And you're going to be able to work with people in different backgrounds. Like, that's the big thing. Introducing people to new ideas so they can shape their own beliefs, all right, is one of the goals we have in this class.